Hey everybody, just wanted to say welcome to Math 84 online. If you're watching this video, that means you found it here in Panopto Recordings. Today I'm just going to show you how to kind of get set up for the online course and show you a little bit about how the online portion works. The first thing you're going to want to do, ooh, excuse me, so I also have had a cold this break, so you'll have to excuse my coughing or whatever. But anyways, first thing you're going to do is you're going to click on your files folder here in Canvas, and you're going to want to get these two things. So the calendar is pretty important. So this calendar shows you a lot of important things that come up throughout the quarter. So you'll want to download a copy of that, and that's going to be just a Microsoft Word document. So you want to download a copy of that. And then you're also going to want to get a copy of the addendum. So that's all of my information. So you probably also want to download a copy of that. And you want to make sure that you always have a copy of the calendar and the addendum available to you, so that if you ever have questions about what date things are coming up, or a policy about like grading or anything like that, these two documents, the calendar and the addendum, they give you all that information. So, and again, you're going to find all that right here in the Files section of our Canvas course. We're not going to actually use Canvas very much for this course. Pretty much all of it's going to be on another online platform, but I'm going to show you how to get all set up with that here pretty soon. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get our addendum, and let's go ahead and take a look through that. So here's all my contact information. My name is Ryan, or you can call me Ryan. Here's my email address. Email is pretty much the easiest way to get in touch with me, though you can also just go through Canvas inbox, because if you message me through Canvas, it also comes through my email. I do have office hours. This is an online class, but you're welcome to come to my office hours. On Monday and Tuesday, I'm in here in the afternoons from 3 to 4. And then on Wednesday and Thursdays, I come in early. I'm here from 9:15 to 10:15. If you really need to come see me, which is totally fine, but you can't make those times, we can typically set up an appointment, and I can fit you in somewhere in there. So, all right, so this is an online class, so I don't require a hard copy of a textbook. So down here now, what I do require is ALEKS access. So ALEKS is an acronym, ALEKS, Adaptive Learning Environment and Knowledge Systems, or something like that. But it's not that important. The important thing is that ALEKS is where all of your content's going to be delivered and learned. Okay. So I'm going to walk you through kind of how that works. But real quick, I'll just finish up a little here. You're going to want a math notebook. You don't necessarily need headphones. This is actually for my face-to-face students. But I will mention this, and this is important. So calculators are allowed, but they're restricted. You can only have, for Math 83 and Math 84, you can have a standard 4-function calculator. That's like the most basic calculator you can find, like the one you see when you go to the bank. You can't use a scientific calculator, so TI-30s and Casio FXs, those are out. And you can't use graphing calculators. So if you come in to take an exam for Math 84 and you got the wrong type of calculator, I'm not going to be able to allow you to use it. So if you're not sure whether or not your calculator qualifies, you can just take a picture of it and email it to me, or you can just tell me what it is, like look at the top of it and give me the name of it. Send me an email and I'll tell you whether or not that's a calculator that you're allowed to use for Math 84. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what exactly is this ALEKS access. So down here at the bottom, this is all my grading policy and stuff like that. We're going to come back to that here pretty soon. But at the very bottom of the syllabus addendum is directions for getting set up on ALEKS. So when you do, the very first thing you're going to do is you're going to go to aleks.com. So aleks.com, this is where all of your all of your course content is going to be. So anytime you want to work on anything from Math 84, you're going to go to aleks.com. So put it on your bookmark tabs or whatever you got to do, because that's where you're going to go to do all your math homework. Okay, so if you look on the syllabus here, oops, that's my calendar. The very first thing you're going to do is you're going to select that little box that says sign up now. So you go to sign up now. It's going to ask you for a course code. So on the syllabus addendum, that's this thing right here, the 6.9 TVM. That's that one. Okay, so there you're going to go back to alex.com and you're going to copy paste that in, and then you'll hit continue, and then it'll confirm right here that you're registering for the right course. So you see this is Math 84 Winter 2018 online. That means you're in the right place. So as long as that looks good, then you'll go ahead and click continue. Then you'll decide whether you'll tell them whether or not you've ever used Alex. If you have used Alex before, you can use your previous login name. If you've never used Alex before, you just select this option right here. It'll help you set up an account as you go. Then it's going to ask you for an access code. So Alex has a cost. So it's basically like a textbook cost. It's typically around $60 for the quarter. If you've been to our bookstore and you purchased an Alex access code, you can go ahead and enter that access code right here. If you haven't purchased an access code and you want to go ahead and purchase access right there, and right now, you can click on purchase an access code. You're going to want an 11-week access because that's how long our quarters are. And you'll notice that there's a $77 option and a $60 option. The $77 option, what that does is it gets you access to an ebook. Most of my students don't use the ebook. The Alex itself has so many resources built into it that very few students ever open the ebook. So most of my students, they select the $60 option, and then it'll allow you to go ahead and pay for that access right then and there. Okay, well, let's say that you're not quite ready to pay today. That's totally fine. If you'll notice on my addendum, there's a financial aid code here. This is a temporary 2-week access trial. If you copy that and you paste it into the access code, then it'll actually let you sign up and you'll get 2 weeks for free. You can get started in the course, go ahead and start working on everything, and then just sometime in the first 2 weeks between now and like January 14th or whatever, you'll be allowed to get on for free, and you'll have to pay those sometime in that time frame. Okay, so then you'll just set up an account, set up a password, all that good stuff, and then continue on, and then it's going to take you to your Alex course. All right, so from then on, you'll just come to alex.com, and you'll just log in. Make sure you write down the username they give you because they're not always the most intuitive. So write down the username, put in your password, and then from then on, you'll just log in from there. Now, yours won't look like this. I need to go open my student view here. This is the instructor view. So let me pull up the student view so you can see what Alex is going to look like when you log in. So the very first thing when you log in Alex is it's going to tell you kind of how Alex works. So one of the reasons we switched to Alex a while ago, and one of the reasons I really like it for online classes, is that Alex is sort of a personalized path through the 84 content. So different students start at different places. So some of you may have skills in some parts of this class, and other of you may have skills in other parts. And at the same time, you also have things you need a little more work on. So what Alex is going to do is it's going to give you an initial knowledge check, sort of like a little placement test. At the very beginning of the class, it's going to try to figure out if there's things from Math 84 that you already know. Then once you do that, it's going to set you up on a learning path that's going to help you get through the 84 content on the path that makes the most sense for you as an individual student. So everybody is going to be learning things at a slightly different time than everybody else based on what they already know and based on what they need to learn. Okay, so it's going to walk you through how to use Alex. So it'll take you through a tools tutorial where you'll have to complete the tutorial showing it that, I know how to hit the right buttons. Shows you this is what the interface looks like. It's going to teach you how to enter fractions. All right, it'll teach you how to enter mixed numbers. So we might run into some mixed numbers at some point in this class. Okay. There's a calculator available. You don't have to use their calculator, but you're more than welcome to use it on the problems. It allows it. Okay, and it says, hey, good job, Ryan. You completed the tools tutorial. Now, it's going to want you to start your knowledge check. So this is where you're going to want to take some time. So this is going to take you about an hour right here at the very beginning of class to take that initial knowledge check. So this is no pressure, okay? I don't want you to panic about it. I don't want you to feel like you have to ace it. This is just Alex getting to know where you're at in the course content. You know, what do you know? What do you still need to learn? So when you click on knowledge check, it's going to give you some advice. You know, try not to get distracted. Stay focused. Obviously, do your own work. If you get help from others, that's not going to help you when you have to come in and take exams. And just take your time. Don't panic. Do your best. All right. It's going to give you a little advice here. When the calculator pops up, you can use the calculator. There is an I don't know option in the test, but we ask students to only use the I don't know option if you really don't know the option. This should look somewhat familiar to most of you because most of you took the placement test in ALEX. So this is going to feel a lot like the placement test that you took at ALEX. The difference is that when you took a placement test, when you first started at CBC, we were trying to place you somewhere between like Math 83 and Calculus 1. This is a placement test just covering Math 84 material. All right, so the first one, it's a question about graphing linear equations. Maybe you don't have any idea how to graph linear equations. You've never seen it before. So you say, wow, I really have no idea how to do this. So you say, I don't know. And then it's going to give you another problem. So now it gives me questions about fractions. Oh, 24 over 8. So that's like 24 divided by 8. So I think that's 3. And I submit it. And it's just going to keep asking me questions. It's about 30 questions. You're not going to have this little skip knowledge check button down at the bottom. You'll actually have to finish that knowledge check. But just for the sake of this video, I'm going to skip it. And I'm going to say, let's say I knew a little bit or a moderate amount about Math 84. So then what Alex does is it generates a pie. Okay, so this pie is broken down. It breaks down all the Math 84 content into pie slices. So each slice is like a chapter. So in 84, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 chapters. Some of them are pretty small. Okay, some of them are really small. All right, and then you'll notice based on our placement test, we already proved to Alex that actually we know some stuff from Math 84. So I knew quite a bit from this chapter and quite a bit from this chapter, and then not so much over here, and I didn't really know anything over here. The nice thing about that is those 70 topics that I mastered out, I'm not going to have to go back and revisit those topics. Alex is going to actually let me skip those topics and just work on the things that I need to work on. All right, so from then on, whenever you log on, I'm just going to click through these. From then on, whenever you log on, this is what it's going to look like. Okay, you'll notice it tells you how many you mastered, how many topics you have remaining. But typically, pretty much speaking, when you log on, you're just going to click on this button. And what that button does is it takes you to the first topic that you're ready to learn. So the first thing that Alex wants me to work on is plotting fractions on a number line. Okay? So it always starts out on a learning page where they give you an example and they show you how to solve it. So this one says, okay, where is A on the number line? Write your answer as a fraction or a mixed number. So here's A. Then they show us kind of how to solve it. Okay, so it looks like in this number line, all of the numbers are broken into 5 equal parts. So that means each part is worth a fifth. And then we see A out here. So to get to A, that means you'd have to go from 0 to 1. And then you'd have to go 1/5, 2/5, 3/5, 4/5 beyond that. So by the time you get to A, you've traveled 1 4/5. Okay, so you look at that explanation. Let's say that maybe you'd like a little bit more explanation. There's videos associated with all of these.
Somewhere between 0 and 1. And to locate 3/4, I'm going to divide the distance between 0 and 1.
Kind of skip some parts there, but you can see, you can watch videos about plotting fractions. So you have some resources. They give you a learning page. You can watch a video. You can email me if you're not sure. Maybe you need some extra help. So you read the learning page, maybe you watch the video, you feel like you know how to do this, so you start to practice. Okay. Oh, so here's D. This looks like this is D sits right at 1/4. So I would say, okay, D is equal to 1/4, and I check it, and hey, look, I got it right. And you notice here up in my status bar, filled in some space. So I say, sweet, got it right. All right, so then you keep going. Oh, where is F? So F looks like it's at 2, and then I got to fit this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 7 parts. So it looks like F is at 2 and 1, 2, 3 sevenths. So I'm going to say 2 and 3 sevenths. Ooh, all right, so I'm doing really good. So see, my status bar here is filling up. So Alex is thinking I really know how to plot mixed numbers. So go on to my next one, but let's say I get my next one incorrect. So maybe I think C is at 1, or 1 and 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so it's at 1 and maybe I guess wrong though. Maybe I guess that it's at maybe I guess it's at maybe 1 and 1/2. Oh, so it says, ooh, try again. You didn't quite get that right. It wants me to try again, so I say, that seems weird. Okay, so let's see, so 1 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's 6 spaces. Oh, okay, so it's actually at 1 and 2 sixths. Oh, but I remember that 2 sixths is reducible. I think that should be 1/3. So when I recheck that, it says, perfect. So I got my status back. And then I do one more. It says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it looks like F is at the position 4/5. So I check that. And then you'll notice I filled up my whole status bar. So it says, hey, good job. You did great. I mastered that topic, and now I'm working towards some goals. So I have 14 to go for my objective goal, which I'll talk about, and I have 209 topics left to learn in the course. If you go back to my Pi, I started at 70, now I'm at 71, because you can see I learned one topic, okay? And then you're just going to continue on your path, and eventually by the time I get to the end of the quarter, you're going to have learned all of these topics, okay? So everything you do for this class is going to be inside of Alex. All right, so let's go back here to the addendum now, because this is a great place to pick up where we left off. So here's the way that the class breaks down. So I grade you on a few things. Okay, so this is an online class, so we're not going to really see each other very often. 50% of your grade is going to come entirely from what you do on Alex. So that's going to be your Pi progress, so how much you finished, whether you did stuff on time, and whether you spent enough time in Alex like you were supposed to. Okay. The other half of your grade is going to come from a midterm and a final. These are 2 things that you have to come into class to take. All right. So right now, I'm going to flip to the calendar and I'm going to show you the days you have to be here. On February 8th at 3 o'clock p.m. in room T338, you absolutely have to show up, come to class, and take the midterm exam. You got to be here to take it. That's one day that you have to show up to campus for this class. And then in March, on March 22nd, Math 84, all students take their final that Thursday at 9 a.m. You have to be here Thursday, March 22nd at 9 o'clock in the morning in room T337. So, even though this is an online class, there are 2 days you absolutely have to show up for class. Okay? All of your coursework will be on Alex, except for you have to come for the midterm and you have to come for the final exam. So put those on your calendar, circle them, bold them, mark them off. Make sure you are in class that day. It's absolutely required. Okay. So this is how the grade breaks down. I'm going to spend a little bit more time talking about each of these though. Okay, so as far as the Alex stuff goes, there's your Pi progress. So as you saw, all of the homework, all of that stuff was delivered through your Alex Pi. So at the end of the quarter, all I look at is I say, okay, what percent of your Pi did you complete? That completion percentage that you completed, that's worth 20% of your overall grade. So that's like your overall progress in the class. The other thing that happens is that each slice of pie has an associated due date. Okay, so now if we go back to Alex, you'll notice here that it says I'm working towards Chapter 2. And Chapter 2 is due on January 7th. This is what I'm referring to when I'm talking about topic completion on time. I'm saying, did you complete chapter 2 by the date you were supposed to complete chapter 2 by? If you complete chapter 2 by that day, you get 100%. If you don't complete chapter 2 by that day, you only get partial credit for chapter 2. And at the end of the quarter, I look at, okay, what percentage of the chapters, how much of each chapter did you finish on time? That's your topic completion on time grade. That's 20% of your overall grade. The other thing that I expect from you is that each week I have a time requirement. So this is an online class. So what I've noticed from students is that it's really easy to start putting stuff off and coming back, and then you get to the midterm and now you're trying to cram everything in. So what I do is I require every single week, I have a counter, you have to spend 4 hours a week in ALEKS. So that's not terribly unreasonable. Everyone should be able to accomplish that. You have to spend 4 hours a week working on your ALEKS Pi. Weeks begin on Monday in the morning, and they end Sunday at night. So if you haven't met your time requirement and it's the weekend, you still have all weekend to meet your time requirement for that week. You can see how much time is remaining every time you log in. It's going to tell you. All right. Spending enough time in ALEKS, that's worth 10% of your grade. So you have your overall Pi progress, whether or not you completed things on time, and whether or not you spend enough time in ALEKS, that's half your grade. All right. The nice thing about ALEKS, though, is that even if you don't complete everything on time, like maybe you don't complete all of Chapter 2 on time, later on in the quarter, you're going to have a chance to go back and you're going to have to finish. You'll have a chance to finish those topics you missed or need to revisit. So you can get 100% on Pi progress even if you don't complete everything on time. Okay, so that's the ALEKS stuff. Then you have the face-to-face stuff. The midterm, that's on the calendar, just like I said. You gotta be here on February 8th at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. The midterm, it's a 30-question test. It's multiple choice, Scantron. It looks a lot like the final. This is just to give you a taste of what the final is going to be like. It's going to cover the material from the first half of the course. And then the final, when you come in, that's a 35-question multiple choice exam. It's cumulative, so it covers everything from the course. This is a really important thing about Math 84. Math 84 students all take a common final. That means whether you're in my online section or my face-to-face section or another teacher's section, every single student has to take the exact same common final, and every single student has to get a 65% or greater on the test. So this is a must-pass final exam. You have to get a 65%. If you don't pass that final, you can't pass the class. So it's imperative that you come and take the test, first of all, and then also that you get a passing grade on that exam. Okay? So, here's what you need to do today. The first thing you need to do is you need to get on ALEKS, get registered, and get going. The next thing you need to do is you need to print out a calendar and a syllabus, and you need to mark those dates on your calendar. If you have work, if you have childcare things, make sure you go to your boss or your babysitter or whoever you have to and get those 2 days and those 2 times off so that you can be here to take that midterm and that final. In the meantime, if you have any questions, please go ahead and send me an email. I'll also let you know I do have a section of Math 84 that's face-to-face. If you ever want to drop into a lecture or a work day in Math 84, feel free to email me. Let me know, hey, I'd like to come by and maybe check out your Math 84 class face-to-face, and then we can arrange that as well. You're more than welcome to come sit on that every once in a while. And I try to be as helpful as possible, so please email me as soon as possible if you have any questions or concerns. I'll be happy to work with you, and I look forward to having a great quarter, and I look forward to hearing from everybody here. So good luck, and hopefully I'll see you soon.